Hello students, welcome to lecture 11 of online chemistry classes. In the last class we started catalysis. We have defined catalyst, promoter, poison. We have seen types of catalysis, homogeneous catalysis, examples, heterogeneous catalysis, examples. Then we learn about the mechanism of adsorption theory of the catalysis. 5 steps we have explained. Then we learn about the activity of catalyst, selectivity of catalyst, and the shape selective catalysis. Now in today's class we will go ahead and we will learn about the enzyme catalysis. In the enzyme catalysis, first we should know what we mean by enzyme. If we look into the chemical structure of this enzyme, we can say that it is a complex nitrogenous, means containing nitrogenous organic compound. This is complex nitrogenous organic compound, means along with nitrogen it also contains carbon and hydrogen, and it is found in a complex nitrogenous organic compound which is present in living plants and animals. So it is complex means a macromolecule containing nitrogen along with carbon and hydrogen. But if we see its chemical structure, we can define it in one type of biomolecule, which is nothing but enzymes are nothing but proteins, which forms proteins of high molecular mass, because it is macromolecule, which forms colloidal solution in water. That's why we are learning it in a surface chemistry. Which type of colloidal solution it forms? When protein is dispersed in water, we get macromolecular colloid, or we can call it as solid liquid, so it is also called as solid, but it is macromolecule. Now these are the substances which we call them as the biocatalyst, because they catalyzes those reactions which are very essential for the sustenance of the life processes. So they are very important because they catalyzes those reactions which supports life, and that's why they are called as biocatalyst. And those biochemical reactions we can call them as enzyme catalysis reaction. Now in 1969, the first enzyme is synthesized in the laboratory. So now we can synthesize in laboratory. So now we are in position to prepare them artificially also, because they are very useful, and we can take this example and understand how they are important in our life processes. It is said that the process of digestion in human being, if it has to take place without the enzyme, a single meal, it will take 50 years to digest if enzymes are not there. So enzymes, they increases the rate of reaction to the greater extent. Why? Because they decreases the activation energy needed for the reaction to take part. Now what are the processes and which type of enzymes are used? We will make one table here so that we can understand the exact examples of enzymes and where these are particularly used. So in first column we write enzyme, in second column we write source, in third column we write process where they are used. So in first case the enzyme is invertase, and this enzyme invertase is obtained from yeast and it is used in the conversion of sucrose one carbohydrate which contains we can say when it is hydrolyzed it forms glucose and the fructose. So this is the one example where this enzyme is used as catalyst. The another example is zymase. The source is again yeast, and this zymase is very important in conversion of glucose to ethyl alcohol, and along with that it forms carbon dioxide. So this is second type of example. The third one we can say diastase. Diastase is the enzyme used. The source is malt, and the process in which it is used that it converts starch to the maltose, another type of carbohydrate. The fourth example, all these examples you learn in biology also, in school level also learn. The fourth example is nothing but maltase, where the example the source is again yeast and it converts maltose into the glucose. The next example, the enzyme catalysis, is the urease. Is one enzyme. The source is soybean, and it converts urea to ammonia and carbon dioxide. The sixth one example in the enzyme is, we can say, pepsin, which is present in the stomach and it converts proteins to the peptides. The seventh one is the trypsin, which is present in pancreas and it converts proteins to amino acids. And one more example, lactobacillus, which is present in curd and it using transformation of milk to curd. So all these examples, name of enzyme, from which source it is obtained and in which process it is used, they are very useful. Question can be asked for 1 mark. In the conversion of starch to maltose, which enzyme is used? You should remember this, diastase. ASE is the suffix used in most of the enzymes. So this is about the examples of enzyme catalysis. Now we have to learn about the characteristics of the enzyme catalyst. We have inorganic catalysts like iron, nickel, platinum, and we have enzyme catalysts like invertase, hydrolase, maltase, diastase. The difference is that the inorganic catalysts are comparatively less efficient and enzymes are more efficient. This can be easily proved by the fact that the rate of reaction increases tremendously when enzymes act as the catalyst. So in the characteristics, we want to mention that characteristics of enzyme catalysis. So in the first characteristics we can say that they are highly efficient. They are highly efficient. I told you the example, single meal would have been taken 50 years to digest if they are not present. So they are so much efficient. Why they are so much efficient? Because they increase the rate of reaction tremendously. Why they increase the rate of reaction tremendously? Because that decreases the activation energy to the greater extent. These are the way which we can correlate it. But to understand how much they are efficient, we can say that one molecule of enzyme can transfer 1 million, means in our Indian way of numbering it's 10 lakh. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. 10 lakh molecules of reactants per minute. So look at the rate of conversion of reactant into product. 1 molecule of enzyme is enough to convert the 10 lakhs, 1 million molecules of reactants per minute. So they are tremendously efficient, we can say. The next is they are highly specific. Now this is again one of the property which we have seen in inorganic catalysis also, selectivity, ability of catalyst to direct a reaction to yield a particular product. So catalyst is used for one reaction, it cannot be used as catalyst for another reaction. In inorganic catalysis also it holds true, but for enzyme it is more important that they are highly specific. It means can catalyze particular reaction only. For example, if this is hydrolysis of urea, NH2CO, NH2, this is urea, and it is hydrolyzed in the presence of urease, we call it as enzyme catalyst here, and it forms 2 moles of ammonia and carbon dioxide. The reaction takes place. But if we have this substance NH2CONH, and only difference is that from here H we have replaced with CH3. This also amide, this also amide. But now if we try to hydrolyze this by using the urease, we can say no reaction, because this CH is replaced by CH3. So this urease can only catalyze this particular reaction, but not this one, even though there is not much difference in the reactant. So they are very specific in their action. Third one, we can say that optimum temperature. Now what do we mean by optimum temperature? The activity, means their efficiency, is maximum at particular temperature, and that temperature is called as optimum temperature. And for enzyme, the temperature is 298 to 301 K, and we know that this 310 K is the temperature, it is a normal temperature of human body, human beings. So there are many biochemical reactions catalyzed by this enzymes at this particular temperature. If temperature is more than that, their activity will decrease. If less than that, their activity decrease. Because at high temperature, being proteins, they get denatured and they lose their efficiency. So high temperature is very dangerous. We call it as fever, very high fever, because enzymes do not work properly. They get denatured, they get deactivated. So this is optimum temperature. Fourth one, we can say optimum pH. The pH is term which is related to hydrogen ion concentration, negative log to the base of chain of hydrogen ion concentration. So what is this optimum pH? We can say again activity is maximum at particular pH, and that is called as optimum pH. And for this catalysis it is 5 to 7, and again many body fluids in human being, they have this range. That's why enzymes can be used as the catalyst. So these 4 properties, and then 2 more are there. Next is coenzyme and the promoters. Just like inorganic catalyst also have promoters, increase the activity of catalyst. Here we have coenzymes and promoters. Promoters means which increase the efficiency. What are the coenzymes? They are non-protein part, because protein part is enzyme, non-protein part, which increases activity of catalyst. And which non-protein part? There may be vitamin present along with enzyme, which increases their efficiency. That is called as coenzyme. Proteins, we can say there are some metal ions which increases activity of catalyst. Which protein, which metal ions are present? Example, Na plus ion, manganese plus 2 ion, Cu plus 2 ion, Co plus 2 ion. The example is amylase, is enzyme, protein, biocatalyst, and when it is present with Na plus ion, it promotes its activity. And the last property is inhibitors and poisons. Just like in inorganic catalyst like metals, iron, in Haber's process, iron is catalyst. Carbon monoxide can decrease its activity, called as poison. In enzyme catalysis also there are certain substances which decreases activity. How they decreases activity? They destroy active centers on surface of catalyst. So the activity of catalyst is because of these certain places on the surface. They destroy them, they decrease their activity, and we call them, these substances are inhibitors or the poisons. So these are certain properties, characteristics of enzyme catalysis. Highly efficient, highly specific, works in optimum temperature, works in optimum pH, activity increased by coenzymes and promoters, and activity is decreased by inhibitors and poisons. Question can be asked for 1 mark, 2 mark. You have to mention this 1 or 2 sentences. Now, after the characteristics of enzyme catalysis, are to learn about the mechanism of the enzyme catalysis. Only few steps are there. Very simple mechanism it is. Mechanism of enzyme catalysis. We said that the enzyme, on the surface of enzyme, on the surface, it has cavities which act as active centers and which are, of course, they are in colloidal state, and these cavities are present which serves as the active centers, and they contains the functional group like NH2, COH because they are amino acids, or this OH or this CSH is the functional group present on them. And these cavities, they are of particular shape. So we can draw this diagram like this. This is enzyme, and it has this particular shaped cavities on its surface. A substrate means reactant, which is nothing but reactant, having complementary shape, complementary shape of cavity, fits into cavities of enzyme, just like key fits into lock, and that's why it is called as key and lock model. Suppose we have this substrate reactant which is having this type of arrangement. This may be fixed into this too. So this is substrate reactant, this is enzyme, and together they forms intermediate, and this intermediate is called as activated complex. See how this activated complex is formed. We have this again enzyme with this cavity, this active center like this. In this cavity, there is possibility that this reactive molecule fits like this. This is lock and this is key. So key is fitting into lock. It is also called as hand glove model. The gloves of right hand can fit only in right hand. They will not fit in left hand. So they are complementary shape. Substrate has complementary shape as that of cavity, and it just fits and it forms just like lock and key model. It is called as activated complex. Activated complex. Now this activated complex decomposes after reaction and it releases enzyme as it is, and product will be formed. Now once product will form, the product will have different type of shape which is not similar to cavity. So it just released from the enzymes here. I draw this enzyme. Right. This is our enzyme, which is a catalyst in this case. So this is enzyme is we got it in the after decomposition of intermediate, and now the product is like this. Now this cavity is not complementary to this cavity. This is product. So product is released. Just like if we put wrong key in a lock, key will not fit into it. The key will have to take back. Just like that, this product is released and we get our enzyme back. So the process is very simple. If you want to write this in 2 steps, any question comes in examination, these 2 steps we have write. A is nothing but enzyme. S is nothing but substrate, and they form this ES intermediate, which is nothing but activated complex, and this ES it just decomposes to form E and P. This P is the product and this E is the enzyme, like this. So these are the 2 steps of enzyme catalysis. These 2 steps were step 1 and step 2. So enzyme is recovered, and again this surface is free to absorb another substrate, and process continues. That's why only small amount is enough, and specific, because this enzyme can interact with this substance, but same enzyme cannot interact with this substance because it has such a cavities which are not complementary to the shape of this structure. So that's why they are very, very unique way of carrying out the reaction. So this is one part of the enzyme catalysis. Now in enzyme catalysis itself, last part is example of industrial catalyst. Again we will make one table here. In first column we will call it as process. Industrial uses of catalyst. In first column we'll write process. In second column we'll write manufacture, what is manufactured to it. In third column we'll write the name of catalyst used in that particular process. The first one is of course the reverse process. It is used for manufacture of ammonia. Iron is used as the catalyst there, and molybdenum is used as promoter. What temperature, what pressure, that we have to learn in T block element. The next is contact process, where we have to manufacture sulfuric acid, and the catalyst used is platinized asbestos or vanadium pentoxide. The third is the lead chambers process, sulfuric acid is only manufactured and the catalyst is nitric oxide in gas state. It is the example of homogeneous catalysis. Homogeneous catalysis. Homogeneous, 2SO2 in gas state plus O2 in gas state. Nitric oxide also in gas state. It gives 2 moles of SO3 also in gas state. The fourth one we can add here as hydrogenation. Hydrogenation of vegetable oil, and it is used for manufacture of vegetable fats, and the catalyst is this. We can add many more here, but at least 4, because the mass the forming is needed in this particular case. So it is the industrial uses of the catalyst. So in the catalysis, only for 1 mark, the example of catalyst which is manganese dioxide used in the decomposition of potassium chlorate to form potassium chloride, and the oxygen. Homogeneous, heterogeneous mechanism of adsorption theory of heterogeneous catalysis, activity, selectivity, shape selectivity, enzyme definition, where they are used, various processes, properties of enzyme, mechanism of enzyme catalysis, and industrial uses. That can be asked for 1 or 2 mark maximum question can be asked for that only. So this is about the complete part of the adsorption and catalysis. Now you can see the previous question papers in the adsorption catalysis. They are very important in this surface chemistry preparation. You have to go for previous question papers only. In March 14, write the catalyst used in the decomposition of potassium chlorate to get potassium chloride and oxygen. Manganese dioxide is the catalyst used for that. Give any 3 differences between physisorption and chemisorption. Already we made many differences. Mention the role of alum in the purification of drinking water. These are nothing but notes, printed notes. I hope that it is with you. If it is not there, you can just pause this video and make arrangement that you can have this notes, because once we go through this question, it is easier to know what type of questions are asked with it. So mention the role of alum in the purification of drinking water. It acts as coagulating agent. Give an example of oil dispersing water emulsion. It is milk. I will not read all questions, because what is physical adsorption, what is coagulation of soap, 2 methods of coagulation, homogeneous catalysis, all answers you know, so I will not take all answers. Only in July 15, name the enzyme used in inversion of cane sugar. Today only we see invertase is the name of enzyme used. Then in March 16, give the example reasons for following Brownian movement of colloidal particles. We can say it is because of collision between constantly moving dispersion medium particles on the dispersed phase particles. Stability of colloid, equal and similar charges present on colloid. Movement of colloidal particles towards cathode. Cathode is negatively charged electrode. It means the colloidal soul is positively charged. Dispersed phase in emulsion, out of physisorption, chemisorption, which has lower enthalpy of adsorption. 3 difference between lyophilic, lyophobic, heterogeneous, dispersed phase and emulsion. Dispersed phase in emulsion liquid. Right, 2 applications of adsorption. We have listed many applications. What is Tyndall effect? Coagulating soul, negative soul. You want to arrange it in the ascending, means increasing. They have given 3 ions here. Ascending order, we have to arrange the Ba plus 2 and Na plus and Al plus. Ascending means from lower to higher, we have to arrange. So Na plus is lower than Ba plus 2, is lower than Al plus 2. This should be our arrangement because this is more efficient, because it has more valency. Heterogeneous catalysis. All these are very simple questions. Name the adsorbent used for removal of coloring matter from solution. Animal charcoal. What is the entropy change for adsorption? Negative. What happens to entropy of a gas after adsorption? It decreases. All heterogeneous catalysis example, Freundlich adsorption isotherm equation, difference between lyophilic, lyophobic, emulsion, all the same questions asked again and again. You should not have any difficulty in understanding these questions. March 20, July 20. Of course, if you have any difficulty, you just take the image of that question, send to me through WhatsApp, or you can call me. I will clear your doubt. Only thing is, I don't want to take more time in all solving those questions, because already they are in notes and already we taught this 11 hours. Now, only thing is, in last 5 minutes, we will see some CET questions in what you are seeing in the screen. I think you already know it. There are 3 dots of seating. You can just press that, and the playback speed you can decrease if you are thinking that I am reading fast, and you just listen this. Only for 5 marks we will see all these questions. In 18, KCET 18, which of the following electrolytes will have maximum coagulation value? Which of the following electrolytes have maximum coagulation value? For coagulation value they ask for Ag plus 2. So it is positively charged, so it is positively charged, so we can say that negative ion is active ion, and they are given options as Na2S, then Na2SO4, then Na3PO4, and then NaC. If they ask about coagulating power, we know that it has 2 negative charge, 2 negative charge, 3 negative charge, 1 negative charge. So in power we could have said that this Na3PO4 is greater, 3 is greater than this Na2SO4. We may say it is equal to Na2S because both are having same charge, and then NaCl. But if they ask coagulating value, the coagulating value and coagulating power, they are inversely proportional. So in coagulating power value, NaCl will have maximum value. So this should be our correct answer. Gold soul is not, gold soul is not lyophobic. Yes, it is lyophobic. Starch, protein, gum, gelatin, naturally occurring substance, put in water and it becomes lyophilic. But metal sulfide, hydroxide, oxide, they are all lyophobic. So they have given one option, lyophobic. It is negatively charged. Yes, metal salts are negatively charged, and C option they are given as macromolecular, and D option given as multimolecular. We know that gold soul is formed by co-aggregation of gold atoms. So it is lyophobic, it is negatively charged, it is multimolecular, but it is not macromolecular. Yes, so this is our answer. Which of the following is example of homogeneous catalysis? Oxidation of NH3 in post-Wald process, heterogeneous. Oxidation of SO2 in contact process, heterogeneous. Oxidation of SO2 in lead chambers process. Just now we have written it. It is homogeneous. Catalyst also in gas state, SO2 also in gas state. Critical micelle concentration of the soap is 1.5 into 10 raised to minus 4 mole per liter. CMC. And they asked, micelle formation is possible only in the concentration. This is CMC, and in which concentration they are asking micelle formation takes place. One is 2 into 10 raised to minus 3. The B is 4.6 into 10 raised to minus 5. Of course, all these are in mole per liter. And then C is 7.5 into 10 raised to minus 5. And D is 1.1 into 10 raised to minus 4. Now we know that micelle concentration takes place only when the concentration is more than that. More than that is minus 3. This is lower, no micelle concentration. This is also lower because minus 5 is less than minus 4. So no micelle concentration. This minus 4 minus 4 same, but it is 1.5 and 1.1. 1.1 is lower than 1.5. So no micelle concentration takes place. Yes, these are all very simple questions. During the adsorption of gas on solid, delta G is negative, delta S is negative, delta H is also negative. And in 18 question has, in NEET 18 question has been asked, on which of the following properties does coagulation power of the ion depends? It depends on charge and also it depends on its magnitude. Charge should be opposite and valency should be more. Then in NEET 20, the measuring zeta potential is useful in determination of which type, which property of colloidal solid. Solubility, stability of colloidal particles, size of colloidal particles, and viscosity. We know that electrokinetic potential is related with the stability of the colloidal particles. So stability should be answer. So very direct questions have been asked. We solve all 100 questions from our college CET material. See the in-test question and exercise question also. We are not solved one by one because they are again the same thing. Difference between physical adsorption, chemical adsorption, lyophilic, lyophobic. All these questions again and again we referred, solved, explained. You also have studied in better way. So to just avoid this repetition, I am not solving those questions. But thing is that prepare very sincerely. Almost completed. Almost means all 100% completed. Only thing is that your work is to solve CET questions, previously asked questions. Don't ignore these questions because questions are getting repeated in theory examination, and particularly when you write the examination, maybe because of this COVID-19, you may get simple type of question. This is my assumption. All question papers are simple only, but thing is that in theory examination, first thing is to solve all the previous questions, and that part which is given in the bold letters in our notes and NCERT. If you do that, theory part will be addressed. Solve 100 questions, MCQ part will be also addressed. So cover this concept now only, don't postpone it because very tedious topic it is there. So we can say that our topic surface chemistry has been completed. If you have any doubt, please clarify it by calling me or by just sending the images of WhatsApp. Only few students are clarifying doubts. many students have doubt, but I don't know why they are not calling or why they are not in contact, because this is the only way to be in contact. You have to call me or just send the image of your question through WhatsApp, or just call. More doubts are there, you call me, ask me to come to college, I will come to college and solve your doubt. But don't keep your doubt as it is. Practice is needed. When you listen, when you view video, you may think that it's very simple topic, but it's not simple. Practice again and again, then only it will be simple. So don't waste time, because we don't know up to in which month exam will be there. Many topics you have to study. So plan accordingly, and only your focus should be on study and nothing else. I hope that you have written chemical kinetics exam also very well, and this also when the exam comes on 24th, I think it is already announced. You just take updates when the exam it is, and you prepare it well, right? So I am leaving this only on the hope that you prepare it well, and if you have any doubt, you clarify it, right? So thank you for watching this video very patiently. I know that it is very testing time, and this surface chemistry is not as challenging intellectually as chemical kinetics or any other physical chemistry topic. But I hope that you give this topic a due respect and prepare it accordingly. So thank you for watching this video. Study well.